Now, the moment we've all been waiting for, the content creation hack using ChatGPT. I'm going to show you firsthand how we did this and give you some step-by-steps. So the first thing is ChatGPT. It's AI or artificial intelligence. You can go there. It is free. They have a free and a paid version now. It's chat.openai.com. There are other AI platforms out there too, but ChatGPT is the one that I know best. And it's the one that kind of broke through and it has started getting really popular. The first thing we'll do is go to Google Drive and create a new doc. So go to Google Drive, create a new doc. The next thing we'll do is when you get there, you can go to Tools, and then there's a voice typing tool in Google Docs or Google Drive. I can click on that voice typing tool, and then I'll hit a button and it'll record. And as you can see here, when Yvonne and I were on a call, she started telling me an experience she had with looking at a property. And I don't think I even told her when I started it, but I opened Google Docs. I'm like, oh, this is a good story. I opened Google Docs, I hit the record and recorded everything she said. Now, if you look at that closely, she's talking and then sometimes I jump in and then she's talking and then we go back and forth a little bit, but it's not perfect. It didn't record everything word for word perfect, but it got the gist of the story. Then we went to ChatGPT and I put in the prompt, can you rewrite this in first person? And I copied and pasted what Yvonne had just said into ChatGPT. And then it pumped it out. And I'm going to show you how this works. I got here. So look, there's Yvonne. There's her story. We won't go into that one, but I'll go to new, and then I'll go to Google Docs, and I'll start a new doc. Then I'll go to Tools, and then I'll go down here to voice typing. And then you can see this little click to speak. And then I click that button and I start talking and it starts transcribing what I'm saying. So I'm going to tell you how I got involved in real estate investing. My real estate investing career started when I was probably, I think in 7th grade. My dad was a teacher. He taught junior high. And as teachers know, you don't make very much money teaching. So we also were farmers. We raised cows and I grew up on a farm in Idaho, but my dad got a side job as a real estate agent. So for my entire growing up, I got to hear my dad talk about listing and selling, and we lived in a small town. So half the time he was mad at people that didn't list with him. And he was angry a lot about real estate, and he talked all the bad things about real estate and how, and he did have he managed a couple properties. And by the end of his real estate career, he actually bought a couple properties that he got for a good deal, and he managed those for a while and then eventually sold those. And so I saw that. I was part of the real estate world for a long time. In fact, in some ways that discouraged me from real estate altogether because I'd heard all the horror stories from my dad. But when my wife and I got married back in 2004, we bought a condo, a little 3-bedroom, 2-bath condo, 1,200 square feet. It was new. We bought it. We lived there for 3 years. We did a refi of it. And then about a year later, we found another place, a twin home. So we kept the condo and then moved to the twin home. And then we lived in that twin home for about 8 years and had saved up enough to then keep that twin home and keep that as a rental and then move into the house we live in now. And that's how I got started in real estate investing. And now I'm going to stop the recording. And there, I don't even know how well that recorded it. Sometimes I maybe need to talk slower, but now I'm going to copy all this. So I copy it, and I'm going to go to ChatGPT. And I'm going to say, can you rewrite this in first person? And then colon, and then I'm going to paste that all in, and then I'm going to hit enter. It got some of I clicked the button and started talking. So I got some of that stuff that I don't care about, but here it goes. It's typing it all out. It's cleaning up what I just told you as I told the story. And then I'm gonna, and it didn't get everything. Can you add a little more detail to the story? I basically can talk to ChatGPT like a person, and it's gonna spit out some more here. Sure, here's expanded version. And it's basically rewriting my story. And it's putting in paragraphs, it's doing punctuation, it's doing all the things that I don't want to have to deal with, really. Look at that. I didn't say that, but fast forward to 2004, and I found myself in a similar situation. My wife and I were newly married, and we wanted to buy a place of our own. So that's, it's going into much more detail than I even went into. And we're getting it here. Looking back, it's been a wild ride. Amen. All right, so now I get this content, and I'm going to highlight over all of this, and I'm going to right click on it, copy it, and then I'm going to go to my own website that's just like a lot of yours. I'm going to log in, and I'm going to go to posts, and I'm going to click add new. And now there's a visual editor and a text editor. I'm going to probably click on the text editor to start and just paste it like that. And then I can click on visual just to make sure I don't pull any code from ChatGPT. But there it is. There's my story. And I can call this How I Got Started in Real Estate Investing. Oops. And then I can start editing. So I'm going to take out that part for sure. What I told Yvonne, and what I'll tell everybody here is, because this is the story. I mean, I'd want to proof this before I actually published it, but I might want to start with an intro. Maybe that's a good enough intro, maybe not, but maybe I say a question like, has getting started in REI been scary for you? Was for me too. Basically just giving a couple sentences, maybe 2 or 3 sentences of introducing, kind of letting people know what we're going to be talking about. And then I can say my story or my REI story. And then I'm going to make this section bigger so it stands out. We'll give it a heading 2. I'm going to go through these, and I'm going to break things up a little bit. Obviously I would edit that, but that's the start. Now, adding to that, that's my story. I showed you guys how to record that, how to document it, and then copy and put it in ChatGPT. I'm going to show you another trick with ChatGPT. Because we just talked about my story of real estate investing, maybe I want to add, what are the top 5 things I should be aware of as a new real estate investor? And I type that question, and bingo, here it comes. And it's creating content. And it's spitting it out like it's been a real estate investor for years.
Wow.
And there it is.
Wow.
Okay, so now I can copy all this. And now I'm going to go back. And I'm going to say 5 important things to know as a new real estate investor. I can spell. And paste. And now I'm going to make this big, and I'm going to give it again the headings to break it up a little bit. And then I have content here. And I showed someone earlier today, I can break this up and format it a little. So I hit enter and then tab so that things will stick out. I could make this a little bit bigger as well. And
Hey,
yeah.
Nate.
Yeah.
Hey, just from an organization perspective, do you have a designated spot on your site where you would put this?
Oh yeah.
You just kind of freeform, right? No.
This is the blog.
This is the blog.
This is the blog. This is going to the posts in my blog. and
Okay.
adding a new post.
Got it. Okay.
So let's say, I mean, hopefully this is giving you guys a lot of wow. I mean, I heard some wows. This is wow
Yeah.
for all of us. This is a shortcut for all of us that have been content creators. You know, myself, I've been in the world of content creation for a long time. This is like, holy cow, this is a new world. There are some, I mean, a little bit of red flags, because what if we all ask the same questions and it gives us very similar content? We might want to mix it up some. We might want to revise it. As I told Yvonne, I might want to intermingle my story throughout these 5 things, or say, you know, some of the things I've learned, or talk about it in first person, or just mix it up some, so it doesn't look like the same content over and over again. But really, if I go back to ChatGPT and I say, so they just gave me these 5, can you expound on this? Now it's going to pull from the same, what it just talked about, and it's going to tell me a little bit more about each of those topics and give me a lot more content. And then maybe I can pick through that and say, okay, what do I want here? What do I want to share? Can I show pictures? Can I add details? Can I add specifics from my own experience? So it's not just regurgitated. But this is already changing the game of how to create content that people need to know or want to know. And so then, Donald, just like you asked, I put it here in my blog. I start formatting it. I start putting it together. And now I have, I mean, already 622 words of content in this stuff we've done in 10 minutes. It gives us no excuse anymore to not starting to create content. Here's some of the tricks. Here's some of the things I want to give you as advice on starting to use ChatGPT. We've talked, a lot of you I've talked to you about using YouTube as a way to do keyword research. I can type in here, how to invest in real estate. And it gives me a whole list of suggestions of things people have talked about in Texas, in Michigan, for beginners with little money, online with $10,000, without owning property, all these different questions that people are looking for. So I can say how to invest in real estate for beginners. I can click on that. And then I can see, look at that video. I know that, I mean, I don't know him personally, but Graham Stephan is a pretty popular YouTuber. He's got 2.1 million views, and that video is 4 years old. So, and the title is The Ultimate Beginner's Guide to Investing in Real Estate Step by Step. So then I could go, I know that has a lot of traction. I could then go back here and say, can you map out an outline of how to invest in real estate as a beginner? And now it's going to give me an outline. Sure, here's an outline. Set investment goals, and it's pumping it out. Not only is this blog content, but this could be the start of a script for video or for a podcast, or we could repurpose this content, obviously mix up some of our own experiences in there, but this is pumping out information that can help us. So it gave me 12, there it is. And so then I could copy all this, going back to that article I already started, since that's how I got started in real estate. I could go here and the step by steps to getting started. In real estate. Paste it, and there it is. And now, I mean, obviously I'd want to go format that, edit it, maybe add some pictures, maybe again, add to that. But now I have a 1,000-word article that we did in 15, 20 minutes. Okay. And I could click publish. I could just save this as a draft. Again, Donald, let's say I dedicated a couple hours to doing this, to just making conversation with ChatGPT, creating content, mapping out some articles. Maybe my goal is 1,000 words. I just keep going back and I ask more questions. Can you tell me about this? What does this mean? What's the difference between hard money and private money? What's the difference between regular financing and hard money lending? You know, all these questions that people have that maybe that we even have, we'll let ChatGPT answer them, and then we can start that conversation. Okay, I saw a question there. Is there liability? Is there any liability with people who say I read and did? I'm not sure exactly what you mean there. I mean, I have not seen any liability. There's not copyright issues with this content. Definitely.
No, like I did an investment because if I read your article, I lost money, you're in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, definitely you can say, you could definitely put a disclaimer. In fact, I could say, can you write a disclaimer about how I won't be held liable if people follow this advice? Watch what it will do. Sure. Disclaimer. The information provided here is for educational purpose only. It should not be construed as legal, financial, or investment advice. Bingo. I can put that at the bottom of the article, and my back is covered. So yeah, I mean, I'm not an attorney, so I don't know all the ins and outs, but I know that that looks like a pretty legit disclaimer that just says, I mean, I've written articles, you know, my industry with web is a little different than real estate investing. Really, we have to think about, and I'll stop my screen now so we can just talk. The biggest thing we have to think about in this whole creating content is, what type of client are we trying to attract? What type of visitor do we want to come to our website? What do we want? What is the purpose of the content we're creating? If I'm talking about how to invest in real estate step by step, what invitation do I want to have at the end? Or what problem am I trying to solve for the end visitor? That's a big question, because it goes back to who is our ideal client. Maybe my ideal client is a distressed seller. So I might write articles about how to get out of a foreclosure if you live in Houston, Texas, and a step-by-step guide on how to avoid foreclosure in Houston, Texas. And then that's the kind of prompt I would take. Kathy, I'll get to you in just a second.
Okay.
But thinking about who we're writing for is really important. We don't want to just write about real estate just to write about real estate, because ultimately at the end, we want to have an invitation to do the next thing, which is, we're writing this content about investing in real estate because this has been our experience. We have experience. And if you'd like to work with us, let's schedule a call. Or maybe I write articles for real estate agents that talk about how working with a real estate investor is not a red flag. Because I know my dad, when he saw for sale by owners, he would critique, he would rip them apart, you know, because he's a real estate agent. So for sale by owner was a no-no for him. How for sale by owners and real estate investors can work together. That might be something we could write about.